happened since the last time we recorded?
It's the 30th.
Oh my god.
It's the next day already.
Bro, it's almost time to pay rent again, dude. Shit. I'm getting tired of paying rent, dog.
I'm getting tired of paying rent too.
What's up, man? It's your boy Haas in the building. We also got in the building. Episode about 9. Episode about 9, Local Locals Podcast. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, leave a comment, share, hit the bell icon, watch the whole video.
Yeah, watch the whole video if you can.
If you can.
We appreciate it.
I mean, I got YouTube Premium, $10 a month. You ain't got to worry about ads. You ain't got to worry about the video stopping when you turn your phone off. Hit play, leave your phone somewhere, hop in the shower. Maybe you finna go for a jog, do a little cardio, work on your waist. That way you can put the waist trainer up. Hit the video, go for a jog. You got a long drive. Airport, coronavirus. You don't want to do that. You want to go for a drive. You say, fuck the airport. I'm going to just drive to my destination. Hour-long trip. 2-hour-long trips.
Our videos are not that long.
Boom. Throw a podcast on, drive. Yeah. It's easy.
It would be just like maybe 10-20% of your car ride.
You're saying?
Just
now,
that.
shout out to my man, Alex Taylor, dude. He has a podcast, the Alex Taylor Show, but he was smart. He got his podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, which is dope. That way, if you don't want to just watch them, you know what I'm saying, that was for the kids. If you don't want to just watch them, you can. That was for the women. If you don't want to just watch them, you can listen to them on them other streaming services. We ain't there yet. We haven't been in the game that long yet. You know what I mean? This is low budget.
Locals, that's what we call
Local podcast. So tell me a little more about what you got going on here now.
Well, you went out and bought these right here. It's the honey bourbon backwoods.
What?
Now we are not advertising them.
Nah.
But they're pretty cool.
I feel like I just added.
What was that word? I was gonna say sponsored. We're not sponsored by them.
Oh yeah.
But maybe one day.
Maybe one day, man. You know what I mean? Sponsorships. We are sponsored by Top Shelf Lawn Care. But you guys already know that. But if you live in the metro area, go ahead and get your trims hedged. I said get your trims hedged. Get your hedges trimmed.
I think we can only be sponsored if he pays us.
He has paid me.
But that's for other work. Not for the podcast.
Payment is payment, you know?
Wow.
You don't gotta be for what? You gave me some money.
He did give you money.
I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
And it has contributed to the podcast.
Homies are homies.
Yeah.
Even though he's not like one of the original starting 5 of the homies. By way of one of the starting 5, he became one of the homies. And look, this is how my viewpoint is. If one of you
sponsor him, he sponsors
takes
us.
off.
We sponsor each other.
If all your squadron is doing something,
teamwork.
You just need one of you to take off.
Makes the dream work.
Everybody gets put on. You see what I'm saying? So if you got a youngin' and they doing something, you make sure at least he takes off, you get put on. And vice versa. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, even if I wasn't getting paid, just knowing it's one of my youngins, I'm going to invest in his movement. Because him taking off is my win. And vice versa. Me popping off is a win for Top Chef Lawn Care. And more. Speaking of standing up for your team, the Thunder players standing up for their people decided to boycott Wednesday. Yeah. But then not boycott the next time they had a game show up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then everything else going on in the NBA, police brutality, and all them craziness that's going on in the stores. Now, I personally think that there's secret hidden ways to do things on the sneak, in the shadows. I feel like most ethnicities work in the shadows. And I think black people need to figure out where these damn shadows are. You see what I'm saying? Like, if something pops off in the Jewish community, they don't protest, but shit gets done. If shit pops off in the Asian community, they don't protest, but shit gets done. 2 Hispanic people and some army base in Texas just popped up missing. Hispanic people didn't protest, but I promise you money, shit's getting done. You don't see people getting ready to play a FIFA game and they say, hey, we're not going to play soccer until you guys figure out what's going on with the missing people in the armed forces. But at the same time, shit get done. The only people that's out there in the streets protesting is black people. Everybody else, they getting shit done, but from the shadows. Where are all these mysterious shadow people at? I think black people ain't got enough people doing sneaky sneak. Black people ain't got enough people in the shadows. When we want some shit done, we should get that shit done without sitting at the house making posters. You know what I mean? Making posters is dope. I did it once. But I feel like you shouldn't make posters for every issue. Some issues need to get handled in the shadows. Every other ethnicity does. Asian community, Japanese community. They got just as much pull in the political realm. But you don't ever see them protest. Jewish people, they got just as much pull, but you don't see them protest. You know what I mean? I think African American people should study how they move. Now shout out to the NBA players for boycotting. I think it's funny as fuck because it just disrupts mainstream media and it disrupts the money. I think anytime you disrupt big money, that's hilarious because fuck them. But I feel like there's a better way to go about doing that. Right?
There's always a better way.
You know what I mean? Now speaking, not to say, I'm not saying it, that you a spokesperson for the Hispanic community, but as a member of the Hispanic community.
I am.
And when someone, if one of your people gets disrespectfully handled or treated, like by ICE or something like that, as a community, what do you guys do? How do you guys get together? Like, is it like a town hall meeting? Is it like a secret chat? What's going on? Because I don't be seeing you guys protest like that, bro. So like, but I know something's going on in that community. What's going on?
We keep going with our lives, man.
What?
We try to find another way in. We're still trying to fucking live the American dream, not for ourselves, but for our families and everyone else around us. No matter how many fucking times we go or get deported, there's plenty of people that still come back. Some that do have to stay over there because maybe sometimes they get a criminal record, so there's people looking out for them even more. But people are still living, man. The families are still living out here right now. If they get fucking sent back, they really can't fight back and protest. They get fucking deported either way, and still fucking trying to make money somehow.
So let's say you was making about 35, maybe 45. 45. Around $5 million a year, right? And you was an athlete of some sort.
Sure.
And your whole and all your teammates and whatnot were also Hispanic. Let's say you guys played something strange, you know what I'm saying? Something that required teamwork. As a social figure, like a big time athlete, would you use that platform to enact and move forward social justice for the Hispanic community, or would you feel like as an athlete you should leave that to the politicians and the pastors and all that?
I mean, once I get enough money, I always think I can finally help out my community. A lot of people in their caliber, they have enough money where they don't have to fucking keep going if they don't want to. They got endorsementship like a motherfucker. So if I had like all that, not being really tied to any kind of fucking benefactor, like, oh, this guy owns me or playing behind my strings, I'll be fucking giving that to the community. I'll be out there protesting with the people if they fucking felt that emotional about it. Fuck, be out there with them. I would, I don't know, man. That boycott, if they were gonna fucking do it in the NBA, they should have fucking just went all in. They should have just like boycotted it, suspended the whole fucking season, but they knew that they had to backtrack. Like, they wanted to keep making that money, that NBA money. Yeah.
You think LeBron James spearheaded that they're boycotting? Or you think that it was...
I think the Bucks, because they were from Milwaukee and Wisconsin, and where some of that shit is taking place, I think they started it, and it was kind of like last minute. It was weird for everyone, because the Magic were already out there about to start playing. And then LeBron, since, you know, he's a king, I feel like he needed something, or he had to say something too. So he's out there going and saying, no, let's suspend the season. Because he suspended like the game. Let's suspend the game and boycott the game. And then LeBron came out and said, let's suspend the season. And I think something about like Chris Paul or some other fucking players came out and said, nah, you're taking it too far or some shit like that. Like, we shouldn't do that. That's not the right move.
I think that's dope. I personally think that's dope. You know what I mean?
Which part?
That LeBron James, if it was him, stood up and said, fuck him. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of rare. You do have people like Pablo Escobar, who's like, I do what I do, but I'm also finna get involved in politics. Mm-hmm. You got people like Manny Pacquiao, who says, I'll do what I do, but I'm also going to become a senator back home and get involved in politics. Yeah. You got people like LeBron James. You got people...
But he fucking
like
backtracked.
You got people like Colin Kaepernick. But...
He played today.
Hey! But it's rare for people to say... Well, it's rare that people also want to put their reputation on the line and endorse a viewpoint politically, especially athletes. I feel like a lot of athletes kind of just say, "Oh, you know, hey, you know, I do this and then that's it." Like Michael Phelps, you don't see him trying to get involved in politics. You know what I mean?
But when you see like, let's say, a celebrity tries to get into politics, let's not listen to them because they're just celebrities, dumb celebrities. Sometimes they do that. Sometimes they are people. Sometimes they are fucking smart.
What's an example of a celebrity?
Athletes are celebrities. They're just playing basketball. I mean, like, I don't think they're like gone into physics. Not all of them or something. You know, maybe they know a few things here and there because they got money and they, you know, they've been around. But there's better leaders out there for movements. I mean, they can be. That's fine. I'm all for it. That looks horrible.
This shit got a little risky. But I feel like athletes are a tier. This is just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Athletes are a tier above actors and actresses.
Sure.
I think the hierarchy goes musicians, athletes, then actors, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe there's a... If you did a survey of how many people are posters in somebody's room, that's idolized, if you will, I think the number one posters in somebody's room is going to be musicians like Nipsey Hussle, Tupac, Biggie.
Okay, so
NWA, musicians, athletes, and then
most population is women. Most of the population in America is women. So what they listen to is music more, pop stars and all this shit. They don't be watching sports like that. So it's...
I don't think... Are women the biggest consumers of music?
Biggest consumers of just everything. They shop and everything. They be watching TV, so they're listening to something. They're looking at actors. They're not looking at basketball. They're looking at their soap operas. They be consuming that shit like fucking, like, you know, like a fat lady.
That's interesting.
On a diet.
Women, the largest consumers of music. I've never been to a concert.
Maybe not music.
Is that true with concerts? It's like the majority of the people body at concerts, chicks. Well, I guess it depends on what concerts you go to as well, but...
Yeah, because it's all these new age concerts too with those pop stars and all that shit. Right. So I don't know.
But actors, I don't think fall under that bracket. So
I don't know, man. I don't know the hierarchy. They're all,
in my opinion,
kind of in the same category to me.
People's houses, I've seen Nipsey Hussle, I've seen Tupac, Biggie, I've seen NWA, and on and on and on. I've gone to people's houses or barbershops, same thing. I've seen pictures of musicians. I've never went to a barbershop and saw Paul Blart the Mall Cop. Or went over to somebody's house and saw a poster of fucking The Rock or fucking Jada Pinkett Smith. You know what I mean? It's always musicians, then athletes.
Except for that one dude. What's his name? The Entanglement guy?
Will Smith. Oh yeah, Fresh Prince. I've seen Fresh Prince though. But it's always but he started off as a musician.
But I'm talking about
he started off as a musician, so that doesn't count.
The guy that had the poster, that other guy would have probably of Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh. Yeah. But besides Will Smith, because he started off as a musician. Same thing with Ice Cube. He started off as a musician, so even though he's doing acting now, I don't consider him an actor. You know what I mean? But when it comes to seeing posters in people's houses, barbershop, shit like that, it's always musicians and then athletes.
Yeah, who do you think be listening to Drake? Everyone, but a lot of ladies.
True. But I'm saying my whole point tying that into the boycott is that second to musicians, athletes are a form of leadership. They're idolized. Yeah. So I mean, even though they specialize in sports, which is considered like
like teamwork and all that shit, so they more in a team based kind of environment. So they always working together, trying to work together. So it makes sense. They're in a commanding lead sometimes, like coaches and shit like that, where they have to get their team sometimes riled up because their intensity is low or some shit. So yeah,
I think who the leadership is shouldn't be based off of who signed up for leadership. I think the leadership should be based off who do the people listen to. Now that might be a biased opinion, but if you got a town,
but we also gotta get the right leaders out there, not just someone that can speak or has a voice. Get the right voices out there.
Right.
Like
what? Give me an example. Think about it. Take a second. Beep.
Beep.
Matter of fact, take two.
Okay, let's say
for the kids.
Let's say one of these jobs, man, for the people where they're asking for if you're bilingual, then it's a better chance for you to get the job instead of like hiring a white dude at the time. So it can be good and bad for different situations. And I forgot my point.
Okay, well, let me take over. For the kids. I think leadership should be based off of who the people listens to, not who signed up for leadership. Okay. For instance,
I don't remember my point. Okay.
Let's say you got, I'm bringing it back to sports though. Let's say we at Dub. You got Coach K. You got a soccer team, and you got, let's say the star of the team might be Ernesto or Nani. Even though the coach is the numero uno in the whole sports at the school, is the head coach. If the coach knows that Nani, the captain on the team, or Ernesto, the captain on the team, is received better by the other players, and the other players listen to him closely without, always trying to get the last word or have something to say, say something back, a quick rebuttal. The coach will be wise to say, I am the leadership, but everybody listens to the team captain. Let me just have him tell them the message because I know they'll receive it better.
Okay. I think put it in that context, I get it more.
I think now. Cities and communities should do the same thing. Like, yes, you're the governor. Yes, you're the mayor. Yes, you're the senator, which is that leadership position. But if you know in that city, in that town, Little Boosie might be the one everybody in Atlanta listens to. It's like, hey, when it comes to just like a big brother figure, like everybody in Atlanta listens to Little Boosie.
Like the voice of the people.
Right.
The ones that actually grew up around him or the ones that, he's about the city.
So it's not, in my opinion, it's not about, leadership shouldn't be about who has the title, but leadership should be about who the people listen to.
Yeah.
And whoever the people listen to and receive better, that should be who the message is given through. And in my opinion, musicians and athletes hold that seat. So even though athletes should just play basketball, I think LeBron James, after basketball, should also take that position as that community leader. He should know that you can't just play basketball. You can't, if you're Kobe, you can't just shoot hoops and do interviews. If you got a big name title like that, even Jordan, you have to understand that your role is also in the community because your voice is heard greater than Governor Stitt's voice. And he the fucking actual leadership. You see what I'm saying? So, like Westbrook, like our governor in Oklahoma City is Governor Stitt. Not only does nobody give a fuck about Governor Stitt, nobody even knows what he looks like. If I went up to random people downtown right now on Saturday and said, here's a lineup of 5 white dudes, which one's Governor Stitt, nobody would know. If I did which one out of these 5 black dudes is Westbrook or whoever, you know, our basketball players are Steven Adams. They're like, oh, that's Steven Adams, right?
Sonya wouldn't know. She
Most
talked
people
to
would.
Westbrook one time at the bar.
Didn't know
for
who
like
it was?
for like 5 minutes before she realized who it was. She was like, "Aren't you Westbrook?" She's like, "Yeah." Some random shit, but that's Sonya.
You know, she's
on something else.
You know, shout out to Sonya.
She's in
Subscribe.
One Direction.
But
Subscribe.
I feel as if athletes and musicians do have a position and a role to play in leadership in the community because they're received better by the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Actual leadership.
But they gotta actually be they gotta be received right by the people, but they actually gotta be about the people too. Some people are fake.
For example, give me 3 examples of fake athletes who pretend like they're for the people, but they're not.
And it's not like they're not. It's just like sometimes they don't make the right decision, so they're not right for the people.
Give me an example. Give me 3 examples. I know some good examples. Everybody knows Usain Bolt. Everybody knows Colin Kaepernick. Huh? Everybody knows, you know, LeBron James, and everybody knows fucking the rest of them. But give me an example. I know a good example of somebody who is not for the people. I would say Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan isn't really for the black community like he say he is. Plus, he has a lot of money invested in, I think, prisons. I don't want to say private prisons, but he has a lot of money invested in prisons. Because, you know what I'm saying, that's... If you're a corrupt person, that you can make some money in that, investing in prisons and shit. So, because they get a certain amount of money every year based off of how many people is in that prison. Yeah. So, if you are a corrupt person and you ensure that prison is at capacity or over capacity every single year, you making, you know, tons of money back on your investment. And I know Michael Jordan has money invested in prisons, so he's working against his own people like that. I think that's slightly two-faced it. But besides Michael Jordan, what are some more examples, in your opinion, since you brought it up, of athletes who, you know, faking the funk?
Faking the funk.
You know what I mean? You brought it up. I know you got some examples that came to mind when you first said it. Who were you thinking about?
I think no one in specific. Maybe just some random people in the NBA. Not all of them, of course.
Just random ones?
Yeah. Well, like higher up, paid maybe ones. I don't know who it could be, but supposedly LeBron and Kawhi Leonard were talking about suspending the season, that they weren't going to play the rest of the season. Maybe someone talked them out of it. Other players or whoever it may be, the powers at fucking China owning the fucking some of the NBA, owned by Adam Silver and shit. So I don't know, man. I'm thinking just like most athletic franchises, most teams, what is it called? Like sports teams are paid off. Like not everyone, of course, but maybe the LeBron James, like the big names. I don't know if Chris Paul, but they're like supposedly different opinions at the moment. So, and it could all be fake controversy. I don't know what the fuck it is, man. Just to divert from the situation that be. Maybe there's something going on in the background right now. Maybe there's some fucking people being appointed again by Ghislaine Maxwell. They're being outed out, and no one's talking about that right now. Save the children is not. No one's talking about it again.
Ghislaine Maxwell, you think she gonna say something about Trump, Lurk?